Good day to all of you. Today, we are going to create the 80th project in our lesson series. So let's get started. First, click on the plus mark on the top of the screen and open a new tab. Next, type thunkable.com in the address bar and press the enter button. Now you have entered the Thunkable website. Now, open another tab by clicking the plus sign again and go to the website dpcode.lk. Click on lesson number 323. Then click the Start Project button. Now you have entered the project. In the previous lessons, we created a part of the quiz app. Today, we are going to create the second part of this app. I have already added the first part of the app we created in the previous lesson. If anyone hasn't watched lesson 322, please go and check out the creation process right now using the thunkable.com website. From here onwards, we will add the code to complete the remaining part of this project. In the previous lesson, we designed the app as needed and we set up two screens to display like this. We also added a code for the start screen. Alright, now I need to create the code for the quiz screen. Before that, let's understand what will happen through this code. The question from the local database should be displayed in label Q and the relevant answers should be displayed in the buttons. When the correct answer is clicked, the score should increase by 1. Additionally, the hidden feedback label should display correct if the answer is right and incorrect if the answer is wrong. This way, the 5 questions we added should be displayed one by one. So let's go back to the Blocks tab and start writing the code. Here, we need to write the functions to display the questions one by one, check the answers and show correct in the feedback label if the answer is right and incorrect if it's wrong. Let's first create the function to switch between questions. For that, I'll drag the to do something code block from the function section. Let's name this function change question. Since we want the question to be displayed in label Q, I'll drag the set label Q's text to code block under label Q here. Now connect the call local db1's get cell code block under local db1. The questions are stored in the question column of the local database, so we will type question for the column. For the row number, connect the app variable row number code block from under variables. Now we also need to set up the text for buttons 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the same way. To do that, we will right-click on the set label Q's text to code block and duplicate it. Drag the duplicated code block into the function and replace label Q with button 1. Also change the column to answer 1. For button 2, I'll duplicate the code block again, drag it below and change it to button 2 and column to answer 2. 2 more buttons are left. Let's duplicate this code block again for those 2 buttons. Here, we'll change it to button 3 and answer 3. For button 4, let's duplicate the code block once again and rename these places as button 4 and answer 4. Now, you can see that the row number variable is used to select both the question and the answer. Therefore, the row number variable needs to change for each question. To do that, we will create another function. For that, I will drag the to do something code block again from functions. Let's name this function next question. I'll drag the change app variable row number by 1 code block from variables into this code block. Now I'll drag a wait code block from control and set the time to 3 seconds. When a question ends, the feedback label will be displayed whether the answer is correct or not. So at the end of the question, the feedback label will be visible. But before displaying the next question, we need to hide the feedback label again. To do that, I'll drag the set label feedbacks visible to code block under label feedback and set it to false. Since we also need to activate the change question function within this function, I'll drag the change question code block from functions below the set label feedbacks visible to code block. Alright, next let's create a function to check the answers. Here, we will assign the correct answer to the variable check button text. I will drag a to do something and return code block from the function section again. For the return part, connect a code block with the equal sign from logic. On the left side of the equal sign, connect the app variable click button text code block from variables, and on the right side, connect the call local db once gets cell code block from under local db1. Type correct answer for the name of the column. For the row number, connect the app variable row number code block from variables. Next, we'll create the code for what happens if the selected answer is correct or incorrect. We need to create two functions for this. I'll drag a to do something code block from functions and name the function correct. If the answer is correct, the label feedback should be visible and correct should be displayed in green. To do this, I'll drag a set label feedbacks visible to true code block from under label feedback. Then, drag the set label feedbacks text to code block and set the text to correct. Next, drag the set label feedbacks color to code block and set the color to green. Alright. Also, the score should increase by 1 if the correct answer is given. To do this, drag the change app variable row number by 1 code block from variables and change the variable name to score. To display the score, drag the set label scores text to code block from under label score. Connect a join code block from under text. Remove the first text code block and type score. Next, drag the text code block into the recycle bin to remove it. Instead, I will connect the app variable score code block from the variable section. Alright, now let's create the incorrect function in the same way. Drag another to do something code block from functions and name it incorrect. If the answer is incorrect, the label feedback should be visible and incorrect should be displayed in red. Drag the set labels feedback visible to true code block from under label feedback. Then drag the set label feedbacks text to code block and set the text to incorrect. Finally, drag the set label feedbacks color to code block and set the color to red. Now we have created all the necessary functions. The next step is to call these functions. We want the question to display as soon as the quiz screen opens. We need to call the change question function. So I'll drag a when screen quiz open code block from under quiz screen here. Let's drag a change question code block from functions into this code block. Next, every time an answer is clicked, it is necessary to check and trigger either the correct or the incorrect functions. After that, the next question should be displayed by activating the next question function. First, let's look at what happens when button 1, which contains answer 1, is clicked. Drag a when button 1 click code block here under button 1. Now, within this code block, drag an if-else code block from the control section. For the condition, let's connect a check answer code block from the function section. Here, we check if the button's text match the correct answer. If the condition is true, the correct function should be activated. If the condition is false, the incorrect function should be activated. Drag the correct code block from the function section into the true part and the incorrect code block into the else part. Okay, since we need to display the next question, let's drag the next question code block from the function section outside of this if-else code block. Similarly, we need to create the code for the remaining 3 buttons. For that, we can duplicate this code easily. I will right-click on the when button 1 click code block and select duplicate. Let's duplicate the code block again in this way once more. Alright, now let's change the button names in the duplicated code blocks to button 2, button 3 and button 4. Great! Now we have completed creating the quiz app. You can run the app and check how it works. Also, try to improve the app by adding more questions if you can. If you have created in this way, you little ones have done a great job. Send your creation to me on WhatsApp to the phone number note 7681252244. Tell your friends about the creation too. Just like you sent it to me, send it to your friends so that they can check out the app. Also, one more thing. Join the DP Coding School Telegram group and try to be the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. For that, stay with us to keep learning. And one more thing, you can join our DP Coding Club, and now you can start a DP Coding Club in any school where a computer lab is available. If you're interested in starting a DP coding club in any school where computer labs are available, make a request through the principal of your school to the email address info@dpcc.lk. So see you with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a nice day.